All right, so now you should have your do now problems on your notes all set and ready to go. And we're going to go ahead and this is my I do problem. So I'm going to explain to you by doing this I do problem what your work is going to look like today. And remember, we don't have a Think Central assignment today. We're just going to do some practice problems after we take our notes. We're going to add those practice problems just to our notes and upload those onto Google Classroom. So, we're going to be working on division, and notice here we have a dividing a number by a 2-digit number, which makes it a little more difficult than what you're used to doing. So the first thing they want us to do is use compatible numbers to estimate. So I looked at my number and I looked to see if there was something that I'd be able to round this to that would make it easier for me. And I know 92 is very close to 100. So I went ahead and I rounded that to 100. Then I looked at that 100 and my number here, and I saw what could I make that number into that would be easily divided by 100. So I picked 2200 because I know about place value, and I know if there's 22 hundreds, my answer is going to be 22 hundreds make 2200. So I now have my estimate of 22. And the nice thing about having that estimate already done is that I can use this number to do my estimating and guessing when I go ahead and start my problem. So I know how many digits are going to be in my problem. I know that there's going to be 2 digits if my estimate is correct, right? So then the next part is I'm going to use that first digit and I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if it works in my problem. So I put the 2 digit above, where like right above the tens place. If I know this is going to have 2 digits in it, 2 times 92 is 184. Now, if subtracting is hard for you, you may have to use a calculator to get this, check your answer here, because there's a lot of regrouping. So you can't take 4 from 0, so you make that into a 10 and change the 2 to a 1. Subtract, you get 6. You can't take 8 from 1, so you need to change this 2 to a 1 and make that into an 11. And you subtract and have a 3. So if you do use a calculator, I still expect you to show your work on that. So you're going to actually put down the 36, and if you used a calculator, that's fine, but still show how you do that subtraction because you need practice at it. And I see that 36 is smaller than 92, so I can go ahead and pull down my 8. And I'm going to look at this. This was 2. 2 times 92 was 184. This is 368, which is almost double. It is double 184. So I'm going to try a 4 here because I'm going to double my 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 9 is 36. I subtract and I get, you're going to use multiplication to check your division. You're going to use your quotient and your divisor and multiply those two together. So we have our quotient of 24 now. And if we multiply this out, I'm going to have to do my adding up here. 8, 12, 2. So now I check to see, is my product of 92 and 24 the dividend? So 2208, 2208, I'm right on. I can give myself a star on that page. So we're going to use compatible numbers to estimate. And here we have 12,749 divided by 18. So let's start out, let's start thinking about 18. Let's just leave it at 18 for now, and let's try 18 times 100. If I have 18 times 100, I know using place value, 1 times 18 is 18, and I have 2 zeros behind it. So I'm getting closer to this number, but I'm not quite there yet. So let me try 18 times 1,000 and see if that gets me close to that number. I know that 1,000 is going to be a little too high. I'm going to drop down 100 and try 900. So 18 times 900, and this one I need to write this way. Okay, I'm getting pretty close there, but it's still a little bit big. I'm going to drop down and try 700 because I notice that this is 2,000 away, and that's dropping down 100, and this is 4,000 away from the 12. So let's try 700 times 18. Now you don't have to write all this multiplication down here. I'm doing the multiplication for us. I'm just modeling it for us. And look at how close we got. So when we work out some multiplication problems with the number 18, and you could have changed that to a 20 if you wanted, that would have worked as well. But I'm getting pretty close here with my 18. So we're going to change the first number to 12,600. We're going to divide that by 18, and we know that from just doing this problem, our answer is going to be 700. So our compatible number estimate is 700. So we're going to write the original problem in this spot. If you need more time, which I'm sure you will, you should pause the video. Pause the video now and take some time to write out this, and this. And we're going to check to see how many times, and we know that 7 is a good estimate, so I'm going to try 7 as my first digit. I know this compatible number has 3 digits in it, and here it would have 1, 2, 3 digits up there above my last digits in my dividend. Okay, does everyone see that, why I would put 7 there? All right, so now we have 7 times 18. I'm going to go off to the side and do that multiplication. And if you need a calculator, go ahead. You can use a calculator if you need it. I got really lucky here. 126 is right underneath 127, so I'll just have 1 as my remainder there. So that looks good. Pull down my 14. Does 18 fit into 14? Nope. So 0 will go above the 4. And then we're going to go ahead and bring down the next number, the 9. We need to know how many 18s go into 149. So I'm going to try some. I know here we have 18 times 7 is 126. I'm going to try another 18. So let's do 126 plus another 18. 144. So I'm really close. I'm going to go ahead and use that 8. 8 times 18 is 144 with a remainder of 5. Now we can write our answer in 2 different ways. Sometimes they ask you to write it with a remainder, and this time that's what we're doing. You put the remainder of 5 up there. Sometimes they'll also have you write it as a fraction, and I'm not sure if your teachers got to this last year, but how you would do that is you would just use your remainder, 5, and put it over your divisor, 18, and simplify that number. So you see how I did that? Your remainder over your divisor. So you don't need to do that on this problem, but we will be doing that later today. So now we need to check. And the way that you check when you have a remainder is you take the actual quotient without the remainder, multiply it times your divisor, and then add your 5. So we have 708 times 18 If at any point you ever want to work these out and try them on your own and you need more time, please just pause the video and take your time that you need. That's a good thing to do. So here we are almost to our original dividend, but we have those 5 extra that we need to add. 4 plus 5 is 9. So we do get the correct answer when we've checked our problem. So give yourself a little star on that one. All right, one more we do, and then I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to let you guys try some I do's on this. All right, so the next we do is you're going to write down this number, and we're going to use compatible numbers to estimate. And this one, I like this, that this is really close to 300. So I'm going to use 300 as my compatible number that I'm dividing by. And I also see, I want to use some kind of multiple of 3 at the front. So 3, 6, 9, 12, any of those would be really good. Anything that's easily divided by 3. And I see that 59 is really close to 60. and 6 can be divided by 3. So I'm going to turn this into 60,000. This one seems like an easy one to me when it comes to compatible numbers, because that is so close to 300, is so close to 6,000. And then remember with your place value rules that if you have 2 digits in your 2 placeholders that you're dividing by, you can get rid of those placeholders and also get rid of 2 on this side, and you will just do 3. How many times does 3 fit into 600? I think you learned that in 4th grade. Hopefully you had time to practice it last year. If not, you can go ahead and use a calculator or write it out to see what you have. But our compatible number estimate is going to be 200. So far, you should have this written. You should have our compatible number estimate written down underneath it. And then go ahead and let's write down the problem. Okay, so I'm going to again look at how many place value digits I have. We have 3 digits in our answer. And I'm going to try the 2 at the beginning because I felt like that was a good compatible number estimate. So I'm going to try 2 up here. If I'm wrong, I'll just change it. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry my 1. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. And my number is lower, so I did a good job there. And when I subtract, I have 39. Bring down that next number. I know that 280 times 2 is more than 400, so it's only going to fit in there once. Yep, this number, my answer to the subtraction problem, is less than 280, so we're on the right track. We're going to bring down the next digit, and I'm going to estimate here. I'm going to estimate because this is a little bigger than 250, and I think 250 is a quarter of 1,000. Right, so 250 plus 250 plus 250 plus 250 will equal 1,000. And this is a little bigger, so I'm going to start with 4. 4 quarters in $1, 4 250s in 1,000. And we're going to multiply this. 4 times 8 is 32. 11, and so I have a remainder of 70. And they are going to want us to write this one in a fraction so that you have that in your notes. So our answer will be 214 and 70 over 280. Hopefully you have gotten to simplifying last year, because that's a big 5th grade concept that you kind of need to know already. But if you don't, that's okay. I'm going to go over it with you over and over and over until you get it. But if at first you're missing certain things, just know that you can't learn it all in one day. It's going to take you some time. So just listen, watch, pay attention. Day after day, if you keep paying attention, you will get it. So we're going to put 70 over 280. And again, that place value division rule says that if I'm dividing by a number with a 0 in it, because fractions are also division problems, that you can get rid of both of those place values. Then I see a 7 and a 28, and I know those are both divisible by 7. 7 fits into 28 4 times, so it's going to be 214 and 1/4. And we can check that. We're going to go ahead and check it with multiplication. We're going to multiply 214 times 280. Another little trick that hopefully you learned in 5th grade was that you can put a 0 down here and just move over to the 8, because if I just list a bunch of zeros, it doesn't matter. What really matters is that I have a placeholder before I start multiplying with that 8. Two placeholders when I start multiplying with that 2. I do know 6th graders sometimes forget their placeholders. So just remember, and that's another good reason to check your work on a calculator. Now, I'm not done yet because I still have that remainder of 70 I need to add in. Let's see what we come up with. Yay, so our answer is the same as our dividend, and you can give yourself a star if you have that correct. Okay, I know that's a lot, but do your very best. I'm going to work through a few more with you. We're going to add more to our notes. So I'm going to start one more video and we will do that now.